Hello again, old friend. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're in a 2007 Porsche 911 997 GT3. We've actually reviewed this car on the channel before, but on a different road. Today, we're going to see how it handles in these Malibu Canyons, and if it's still worth the now $120,000 price on the used market. This car is mostly stock. We have a Sharkworks bypass exhaust that you guys are definitely going to enjoy, and we have these Recaro seats, we have the roll bar, and other than that, bone stock suspension and everything. Let's see how she drives. This is one of the best cars I've driven. And if you guys see my Jubbal Cars Driving Index, as of today, this is one of the highest, if not the highest ranked car, because it is so impressive. The 997 GT3 is arguably one of the best because you maintain that analog rawness. You have the hydraulic steering wheel with that beautiful, beautiful communication. And yet they've neutralized a lot of the issues with the RR platform that is actually more apparent on the 996 GTs. Nice immediate throttle response, heel toe is a cinch. God, that Sharkworks bypass sounds so good with the valves open. Now this road is a little bit small and tight for this. We're powered by a 3.6 liter flat six, naturally aspirated. And this thing wants to rev and sing, but on these roads, we're mostly stuck in second gear and not quite getting to red line. God, such a capable car. Now, despite having McPherson strut front suspension, the car is very well sorted. You don't get much understeer, although the front end does get a little bit light on throttle input mid-corner. Oh! Bumpy, bumpy. I do like the transmission, but let's be real, not everything Porsche touches has to be pure gold, and this is, while it's very good, the Honda S2000, the Honda NSX, they are more bolt action, more mechanical. This is very positive on gate entry, but it's not quite as delicious as those Honda transmissions. Man, the way the power just builds and surges in that linear NA fashion is very rewarding. It eggs you on to push it. It's not like those modern turbocharged cars where you can just get gobs of torque from 2,000 RPM. There's nothing wrong with that. That's great for a daily driver, but if you want to be carving canyons or going on track and really having a rewarding experience, you want something like this. You want something naturally aspirated, raw, visceral. Oh God, the steering is so delicious. Porsche hydraulic, not EPS. One of the last hydraulic racks before they went to EPS with the 991 generation. This is the 997 preceding that. Oh, so tasty. So tasty. Oh, I love that howl. OEM suspension is actually pretty well sorted. I mean, obviously we don't have the PASM engaged. This road is too rough for that, but it's handling these bumps, this less than ideal road, let's say, quite well. Not getting upset, remaining quite well sorted. I just drove the 997 GT2 yesterday, and while that makes substantially more power, that's around 550 compared to this 430, I actually prefer the linear throttle response and the naturally aspirated nature. This sounds better. Turbos muffle the engine. We love the howl of the Metzger 6. And we don't want anything getting in the way of that. Plus, with that more linear throttle response, you're able to push and dance with the car a little bit easier. Whereas when you have gobs of power and turbo lag, you can't quite do the same. Now earlier today I was driving the Honda NSX, or rather Acura NSX USDM, and that car would go for something like 70, 80K. This is roughly 120K. And the question on my mind was, would I pick this car over the NSX with that extra 40 grand? And I'm not so sure. They both have their pros and cons. The Acura NSX has a nicer transmission. It's so mechanical, so bolt action rifle. I know that's cliche, but that's the best way to describe it. But the engine and the howl on this is so special. The steering on this is so communicative. Beautiful steering weight and feel and speed. Whereas on that NSX, it's mechanical, great feedback, but it's just too slow. A lot of input to get the car to move in the direction you want. Part of the charm of this car is that it does challenge you to drive an RR platform with some degree of limitation. They haven't completely neutralized it like they have with the 992, the double wishbone, the more advanced suspension tuning. So this does still keep you a little bit challenged, right? A little bit intrigued because oh, the weight's in the back. I gotta be careful with throttle mid-corner. It's gonna get light up front, etc. That's part of the fun. We don't want cars that are too easy to drive. And yet you go back to the 996, it's a little bit frustrating at times how light the front end gets, how difficult it is to drive, how prone to understeer it is. And the 997, I feel like, is that beautiful balance point between the analog and the digital, between the almost boring because it's too good and the almost frustrating because it's not good enough. God. I think for $120,000, there are a lot of cars you can buy that are not nearly as engaging and rewarding as this car. But it's not perfect. I do feel that the gear shift, compared to the other inputs, is the weak point. The steering is phenomenal. Almost as good as Lotus racks. The brakes are nicely tuned. Good initial bite, very linear, easy to modulate, not too grabby, not concerning in that you have to travel a whole lot before you get any stopping power. Really well dialed in. Throttle response immediate, very easy to downshift, rev match, heel toe. Granted, with the roll bar and the seats, I can't get my seat far enough, so heel toe for me is a little bit challenging. If you're taller, then you probably don't want to have that. But when you get into this car, it feels special. It feels like an occasion, and that's what you want in a Porsche GT. Oh, this is what dreams are made of, my friends. God, I love that exhaust. 8,400 RPM redline. The Porsche howl, these beautiful Malibu windy roads. What more could you want? I'm in heaven, boys. Now I'm really curious. For $120,000, what would you guys get? I think this is a really strong contender. I mean, of course, you have things on the new market, like the Porsche Cayman GT4, the GTS 4.0, Lotus Evora, Lotus Emira, which is what I'm buying soon. But this offers a level of raw and visceral that a lot of modern cars, quite frankly, just don't offer anymore. But before we wrap things up, let's hear that flat six sing one more time. Thanks for watching, my friends. Subscribe if you haven't already. Much love, and I will see you guys in that next one.